Hello everybody and welcome to another All for Sci-Fi review. Today we're reviewing Star Wars Clone Wars Episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten. And thank you everybody for joining me. As always, before we get into any spoilers, we'll go ahead and put a sign up here that says spoilers. So you can go, if you haven't seen the episode, you go ahead and pause it and come back later and join the discussion in the recap of this episode. Please, if this is the first time you've ever came across one of our videos, please remember to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. And we've been uploading a lot of videos with this since we're all on these stay-at-home quarantine orders, this COVID-19. It's kind of making everybody have cabin fever, I'm sure. You could leave some comments below and let me know how all of you guys are doing with this pandemic and how you guys are handling it. I'd like to know, so please in the comments below let me know what you guys are doing to keep busy. Hopefully you're watching some of our videos and our reviews that we've been posting lately. Tomorrow we will be posting our interview with Dominic Pace from The Mandalorian. He was Gecko, the bounty hunter, on The Mandalorian episodes 1 and 3 of season 1. Not sure if Gecko's going to show up in season 2 yet, but we'll know soon enough. But also, before we get started, we always give our rating first so that you know what our rating is. Then you could watch the episode. At All for Sci-Fi, our ratings are 0 to 5 stars. 5 stars, of course, being the best. If it's rated 3 stars or less, we don't recommend you stream it, or we don't recommend you go to the movie theater and waste your time. So anything 3 stars or below, don't go or don't stream. This episode, episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten, gets an official All for Sci-Fi rating of 5 stars. This is the first episode of this season that we've actually given, I believe, 5 stars. This particular episode, right from the very beginning, and we're going to go ahead and put the sign up here that says spoilers. So if you see the sign spoilers, now we're going to start talking. But this episode, right, I was drinking my morning coffee and I almost like spit it out. My jaws were like dropped because I saw the very old Lucasfilm green logo pop up. It was like, brought me back to the old days when I was Mace Tawani and Caravan of Courage, back when we had the old green Lucasfilm logo. Thank you, Dave Filoni, for putting that up there for us. And also, I noticed in this episode, and also not just the music, but everything in this episode seems so epic. The music, I heard a lot of John Williams themes in this particular episode. I heard Leia's theme. I heard some themes from Revenge of the Sith. Lots of different music. So they brought back a lot of old school Star Wars style music. And a lot of the shots, too, with the battles that were going on and the space battles, they're very epic, very reminiscent of the Clone Wars movie. So I would really like to see this particular episode. And by the way, this is part 1, so I guess there's going to be a part 2. So I'd like to see this particular arc maybe in the big screen. The way they're going about, the way they're shooting this, and the way they're editing it with music, it just has such a movie feel. So It'd be great. Maybe they could release it in the movie theaters. That's my recommendation, Mr. Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm. This needs to be in the movie theater. So let's go ahead and get started. This particular episode starts off with Obi-Wan Kenobi with the clones. They're in a big battle, and they're getting their hand handed to them in this battle. Obi-Wan Kenobi even ducks for cover, and he says, "Where's Anakin?" The second he says, "Where's Anakin?" Anakin's, "I'm right here." And then, of course, with his bravado and his cockiness, Anakin says, "I'm already done with my part of my battle. You need my help?" So, yeah, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, sees his Padawan, and who's now about ready to become later, he becomes Darth Vader. But he sees a very cockiness, and he says, "Okay, go ahead, show us how it's done." And so Anakin walks up towards them, and he's not even moving, even though they're firing at him. Like, he's so cocky, this Anakin Skywalker. And he basically goes right up to them and says, hold it. I'm going to get... And then he says he's going to give up. So that he gets them to stop firing, and says he's going to give himself up. Of course, we know how the battle droids are, right? Not the sharpest tools in the shed. And they stop firing, and And as they're doing this, we actually go and see that R2-D2 and his clones are underneath the bridge. So they're like trying to get in position. And the manager, the commander, not manager, the commander of the battle droids and those forces comes up and says, "Why did you stop firing on him? This is a Jedi trick." And right when he says that, of course it is a trick, and R2-D2, and he gives a signal, Anakin gives a signal, and they all start coming out, and Anakin pulls that commander by the force and knocks and kills him real quick. And they quickly, of course, all the other clones fly up. They actually are flying up and shooting at them like they're Mandalorians. So I guess the clone army looks like Mandalorians in this episode. Okay, so after they've finished that battle and they've won it, they go back to their ship. And Anakin receives a message that he has a very important phone call that he has to go back to the ship. And he can't take it there. He's got to go back to the ship for it. And he goes back to the ship and he finds that he's getting a call from Ahsoka Tano, who's reaching out to him to let him know that they know where Darth Maul is, and they need his help and Obi-Wan and the clone army. So they end up showing up to the right. A few seconds past that, their ship shows up. And they're discussing, they're having a battle meeting about how, and of course with her is Bo-Katan again, and her Mandalorians. And they're talking about how they know Darth Maul is on Mandalore. And we need that, but she doesn't have enough troops, and she can't take them by themselves, so they need the help. And right as they're discussing this, something happens, and we find out that there's a siege happening, and now Obi-Wan and all of them, maybe they can't help Ahsoka and Bo-Katan because something's happening on Coruscant, and Palpatine needs their help right now. So what they decide to do is they end up giving Ahsoka her clone group again. And they make her captain into a commander. I don't know if it's a captain. He's a lieutenant. I don't know what he is, but he gets promoted to being a commander. And Ahsoka, since she's not part of the Jedi Order any longer, is going to just be an observer. We know she's not going to just be an observer, and they keep calling her commander. But they go ahead and agree to go ahead and split up the forces and give Ahsoka the troops she needs, and they promoted the commander to, I think it's Commander Cody, I believe. Is it Cody? I'm trying to remember which one it was. Rex. No, it was Cody, I think. They promoted him to commander. So after that, we then go to, we follow along with Ahsoka, not with Obi-Wan and Anakin. They go off to help and save Palpatine. But the arc follows Ahsoka to Mandalore, and they have this amazing fight. Before they do that, some very emotional moments, of course, are when Anakin becomes speechless when he first sees Ahsoka, and when he also the troops her old troops want to say hi to her. They all painted their helmets her colors in tribute to her, and that was kind of an emotional moment. What else? Just some great moments. Anakin also gives Ahsoka back her blades, her lightsabers, which is really cool. That was a great moment. He saved them for her, and he says he made them better. Of course, he's Anakin. So here we are on Mandalore, and this big battle ensues, and you see, Ahsoka, and you see the Bo-Katan and the Mandalorians flying, and they're fighting each other. And Ahsoka doesn't have a jetpack. She goes, "That's no problem. I'll still." And she even tells the commander, "I'll beat you. I'll beat you down to the ground. See who gets there first. I'll bet you I beat you there." And she's like jumping from ship to ship and battling her way as she goes down to the ground on the platform. And of course she beats him. And he says nothing new. Of course you always win, Ahsoka. And as they're battling around, they end up finding out. We hear the current leader of Mandalore, talking to Darth Maul and telling him that they're here, and Darth Maul tells them to go to the underground, go down to the underground caverns or city underground, and meet me there. So they end up all eventually going down to onto under the ground, and they're inside this sewerage area, and something. And as they're doing that, we go to see Bo-Katan in where the leader is, the current leader of Mandalore, and she breaks into his area and battles him and wins him. And as she's winning and beating him, that leader, I can't remember his name. I'm just doing this all on the fly, guys. I just watched it today. But he tells Bo-Katan that she brought the wrong Jedi, that Darth Maul knew the Jedi were coming and he foresaw it, but Bo-Katan brought the wrong Jedi, so Bo-Katan knows it's a trap that Ahsoka is getting ready to go into with Commander Cody and her troops. So she tries to radio down, and of course they're underground, so Ahsoka doesn't get the warning, and they basically were put into a trap, Darth Maul's trap, and some very bad, sad news is we end up losing the commander. He ends up getting killed, and now all of the people circle in and trap Ahsoka. And as Ahsoka is like standing there, this is near the end of it, and she's looking around. Right at the end, Darth Maul comes out, and he's yelling, "You brought the wrong Jedi. I wanted Obi-Wan." Apparently, Darth Maul wanted another rematch with Obi-Wan. Well, he didn't get it. He has Ahsoka Tano instead. And right as he comes out and says that, and you see that Darth Maul has trapped Ahsoka, it ends. What a cliffhanger. So we don't know what's happening. We don't know if they're going to start battling right now. I guess we're going to find out in the next episode, right? But this episode, once again, it got a 5-star rating. It really deserves it. I'm gonna say this, and everybody has their own opinion, right? But for me, this is one of the best Clone War episodes ever created that I've seen. And I know I haven't seen all of them. I've seen quite a few of them, and I know a lot about Star Wars. This, for me, just the way it was edited, with the music being more epic, the shots more epic, the battles, it reminded me of kind of the service they gave the Clone Wars movie, and it just jumped. The level just jumped majorly on this episode. Wow, what an episode. I got to go back and watch it a couple more times because I'm that excited about it. But thank you, everybody, for joining me on this week's review of Star Wars Clone Wars Episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten. And I'm glad that they put the Lucasfilm green logo up there. We didn't get the cookie. We didn't get the little cookie saying, the little, that they always put the saying, little cookie saying at the beginning. But what we got was an old friend, that old Lucasfilm logo. And that will work just fine. So can't wait to see next week, part 2. Thank you guys for joining me once again. If this is the first time that you've come across our channel, please give our video a thumbs up. Hitting the like button and give us a thumbs up really helps us in the ratings, and we appreciate that. Also, remember to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel because we're going to be doing all these reviews. And at allforsci-fi.com, we don't just do Star Wars. We do Star Trek. We do all sci-fi. There's lots of sci-fi stuff we've done last year with Marvel and the Avengers and John Wick. And later this year, we got Dune. So we're covering everything that has to do with sci-fi related or fantasy or action, adventures type of stuff. Anything that's sort of related to sci-fi, we do as well. And be on the lookout for our official interview with Dominic Pace, which should premiere tomorrow. I'm Eric Walker saying, may the Force be with you always. Stay safe. Take care.